Alright guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today I'm going to be doing the section 3 of test number 5, the no calculator section, right? Because it's section 3 and you guys can clearly see the no calculator thing right here. So if you guys want to do this test by yourself without me giving the explanation or anything before you watch my video, the link of this test will be in the description below, so check that out if you guys want to do the test by yourself. But let me begin on the test. So question 1, which of the following is an equation of line L in the xy plane above? So we're gonna put this in slope intercept form, right, which is y is equal to mx plus b, right? So what is the slope? I'm just gonna choose 2 points, this point right here and this point right here, right? So what is this point right here? That's 0, 1, and this point right here is -1, 0, right? So now we have to find the slope. So how do you calculate slope? It's delta y over delta x, or change in y over change in x. So what's 1 minus 0? That's 1. What's 0 minus -1? That's 0 plus 1, which is 1. That's going to be simplified to 1. So that means y is equal to x plus, what is our y-intercept? Our y-intercept is going to be 1, right? Because 0, 1, that means our y-intercept is 1. So that means this is going to be the line of our equation, or D. Right, so let's move on to question 2. So for question 2, right, so the circle above with center 0 has a circumference of 36. What is the length of minor arc AC? So as you guys know, a right angle, which is 90 degrees is what fraction of 360? That's 1/4 of 360, right? So that means the minor arc AC is 1/4 of 36. So that means the length of arc AC is going to be 9. That means our answer is going to be A. Let's move on to question 3. What are the solutions of the quadratic equation 4x squared minus 8x minus 12 is equal to 0? So what we're going to do is we're going to divide both sides by 4, right? Because you guys can see that the least common multiple, the greatest common factor is going to be 4, and you could divide anything by 0. You can divide 0 by anything besides for 0. So if we divide this by 4, that'll give us x squared minus 2x minus 3 is equal to 0 divided by 4, which is 0. And now if your factoring skills are sufficient enough, you guys can factor this out. So that'll give you x minus 3 times x plus 1 is equal to 0. And now we just solve for x, right? X minus 3 is equal to 0, and x plus 1 is equal to 0. That means x is going to equal to 3, -1. Meaning our answer is going to be B, right? I'm going to make a factoring video pretty soon, so if you guys are interested in learning how to factor a little more quickly here, I'll make that video pretty soon after that stuff. So after question 4, which of the following is an example of a function whose graph in the xy plane has no x-intercept? So what is an x-intercept? If you guys don't know, right, xy plane, this is your standard 4 quadrants of xy plane. An x-intercept is where it intercepts the x-axis. So any point right here, right, it has to touch the x-axis. So let's go down each one. A linear function whose rate is not 0. That means the graph is going to look something like this, right? It's going to be a straight vertical line. But look here, there's an x-intercept, right, because it touches the x-axis. This is wrong. A quadratic function with real zeros. So if something has real zeros, it means that it touches the x-axis. Because when you set, for example, the equation x squared minus 2x plus 5 is equal to 0, the value of x, when you solve for the value of x, that's going to be the x-intercept, right? So if it has a real 0, that's wrong, but no real zeros. If it has no real zeros, then it means the graph might look something like this. So it means it never touches the x-axis. So it means our answer is going to be C. Right, we don't even have to try D because you see one real 0. If it has a real 0, it means it touches the x-intercept. So boom, our answer is going to be C, right? We use the process of elimination. That's all you need. So question 5. In the equation above, k is a constant. If x is equal to 9, what is the value of k? So let's just substitute the value of 9 in for k, for x, I mean. So square root of k plus 2 minus 9 is equal to 0, right? Because x is equal to 9. I'm going to add 9 on both sides. So k plus 2 is equal to 9. Now I'm just going to square both sides. If you square both sides, these square root cancels out. So k plus 2 is equal to 81. Minus 2 on both sides, k is equal to 79. Meaning our answer is going to be D, right? This is pretty easy. Standard algebra. Let's move on. So question 6. Which of the following is equivalent to the sum of the expression a squared minus 1 and a plus 1? This is probably going to be the easiest question here, but what do you do? A squared minus 1 plus a plus 1, right? Which can be simplified into a squared minus 1 plus a plus 1. Negative 1 plus 1 cancels out. A squared plus a is our remainder after you add everything. So that means our answer is going to be A. Alright, question 7. Jackie has 2 summer jobs. She works as a tutor, which pays $12 per hour. That's going to be very important because, as you guys can see right here, we have a bunch of systems of equations, right, inequalities. So highlight that. $12 per hour for tutoring. And she works as a lifeguard, which pays $9.50 per hour. Highlight that as well. That's going to be a key detail. She can work no more than 20 hours per hour, 20 hours per week. Boom, highlight that because you see inequalities, so this is going to be important. But she wants to earn at least $220 per week. Also highlight that detail. Which of the following systems of equations represents the situation in terms of x and y? So what does x represent? What does y represent? X is the number of hours she tutors, so x represents that. And y is the number of hours she works as a lifeguard. I'm just going to write life. So what's going to be our first equation? So she wants to work no more than 20 hours per hour. 20 hours per week. Why do I keep saying hours? But it's week. So x plus y has to be less than or equal to 20. So which answers can we eliminate right away? We can eliminate A, and we can eliminate D as well. And next, she wants to earn how much? She wants to earn at least $220 per week. So it means it's going to have to be x, right, 12x, because that's the amount she gets paid per hour for tutoring, plus $9.50. Y is greater than or equal to 220. Because at least means that this has to be greater than or equal to 220. That means our answer is going to be C, right? Because both these equations are right here. So let's move on to the next question. Alright, so we have another reading question. Question 8. In air, the speed of sound s is measured per second in a linear function of the air temperature T in degrees Celsius, which and is given by s of t is equal to 0.6 t plus 331.4. Which of the following statements is the best interpretation of the number 331.4 in this context? So as I probably told you guys before, this is written in point slope form, right? You guys can see, right, y is equal to 0.6x plus the y-intercept, which is 331.4. So they're going to ask for what the y-intercept means in this equation. So at the speed of sound in meters per second at 0 degrees Celsius, right, if you plug in 0 for the value of t, what does that give you? 331.4. So it means this is correct. So we're going to check the rest. The speed of sound in meters per second at 0.6 Celsius. If you plug in 0.6 as t, right, that's not going to equal 331.4 anymore. So that's wrong. And for choices C and D, you see increase. Yeah, 331, that's not changing, all right? 331 is the y-intercept. The y-intercept is not going to move unless you alter the function. So C and D are automatically wrong because it's not increasing. 331 is not going anywhere. So that means our answer is going to be A, right? It's basically a logic question. You just got to interpret it in a math stand. All right, so we're going to question 9. If xy is a solution of the systems of equation above, and x is greater than 0, what is the value of xy? So I'm just going to plug in the value of x squared for y, right? Y. So 2x squared, because I just plugged in x squared for y, you guys can see that, plus 6 is equal to, I'm going to distribute this, 2x plus 6. 2 times x, 2 times 3. Right, now I'm going to move everything on this side. So 2x squared minus 2x, because I'm subtracting 2x and subtracting 6 on both sides. Right, these cancel out, is equal to, and these cancel out, is equal to 0. Right, now I could factor this. So what's the greatest common factor? It's 2x, right? 2x goes into both, times, what's this? X. 2x times x, 2x squared. 2x times what is negative 2x? Negative 1. Is equal to 0. So that means x is going to equal to 0 or 1. But in this case, it says that x is greater than 0. So it means x has to be equal to 1. Right? If x is equal to 1, then what is the value of y? Y is equal to x squared. 1 squared is 1. Boom. We have our x and y values. We're not done there. They're asking what is the value of xy? So what's 1 times 1? It's 1. Boom, your answer is A. So this was pretty easy. Let's move on to the next question. Question 10. If a squared plus b squared is equal to z and ab is equal to y, which of the following is equivalent to 4z plus 8y? So 4z, 4 times this. So what's 4 times a squared plus b squared? That's equal to 4a squared plus 4b squared, right? And now they're asking for 8y. What is 8y? 8y is equal to 8 times ab, which is equal to 8ab. If I write this in another form, you guys can probably recognize it, right? Because all the answer choices look like this. What if I write it like this? 8ab plus 4b squared. If you guys can recognize this, this is the sum of squares, right? Because a plus b, well, in this case, 2a plus 2b squared is equal to this. How? Because if you guys use FOIL and distribute this, you'll get 4a squared plus 4ab plus 4ab plus 4b squared is equal to this right here. So it means our answer is going to be B. So you guys have to see this right away. If you guys can't see this, you guys need more practice recognizing these equations. But I'm going to continue on. So I made a video on that, so go check that out. Or I'm going to make one in the future. I don't know if I made a video on that yet. But you guys can check out these equations that you guys have to remember for the SAT. So question 11. The volume of right circular cylinder A is 22 cubic centimeters. What is the volume cubic centimeters of a right triangle with twice the radius and half the height of cylinder A? So what is the volume of a right cylinder? The volume is equal to the height times the base, which is pi r squared, because a circular cylinder has a circle, right? Hence pi r squared as the area times the height. So now they're saying that this is 22, right? Now they're saying that there's a new right circular cylinder, right, with twice the radius. So the volume of the new one is going to be but half the height. That's going to be 1/2 h, half of the height, times twice the radius. So that's pi times 2r squared, because r is the original radius, and now it's 2r. And now we can simplify this into 1/2 h times 4r squared pi, because 2r squared is 4r squared. And now we can simplify this. So what's 1/2 times 4? That's 2. So this is equal to 2 times h r squared pi. R squared pi, h r squared pi. It's right here. But now we have the extra 2. So we have to multiply 22 by 2, giving us 44. Right, that might have been confusing at first, but if you guys look back at it, you guys can see how I simplified everything, giving you the extra 2. So that's why you got 22 times 2. So look at that if you guys need it. So question 12. Which of the following is equivalent to 9 to the 3 over 4? Right, so when x to the a over b, what is that equal to? Right, because you guys never see a fractional exponent, right? You guys ever see that? I don't know if you guys have, but this is equal to x to the a root b, right? So what is this equal to? 9 to the 3 over 4 is essentially equal to 9 to the 3rd root 4. But now we could simplify 9, right? This, we don't want this because this looks weird. You don't want that. So what is 9 equal to? 9 is equal to 3 to the 2. 3 to the second, right? So 3 to the second to the 3 over 4. As you guys know, you guys can multiply. If an exponent is to an exponent, you guys can multiply the two exponents. So this is simplified into 3 to the 2 times 3 over 4, which can be rewritten as 3 to the 6 over 4. And now 6 over 4 can be simplified, right? Because if you guys have a fractional exponent, you can simplify it into its smallest terms, which can be equal to 3 to the 3 over 2. 6 over 4 is equal to 3 over 2, right? It can be simplified, hence giving you 3 to the 3rd over 2. Because as I just said, x to the a over b is equal to x to the a root b. X to the a, 3 to the 3rd, root 2, root b, right? And what is 2 equal to? That's equal to root 27, right? You don't need, the 2 is the same as a root. So what is root 27? That's equal to root 9 times 3, right? 27 is equal to 9 times 3. 9 is a perfect square. What is that perfect square? It's 3. 3 root 3. Boom. That's your answer. D. I'm going to make a video. I'm also going to make a video on simplifying fractional exponents and just exponents in general. So if you guys have trouble with this, stay tuned. I'm going to make a video soon. Yeah, check that out. Alright, so now let's look at question 13. At a restaurant, n cups of tea are made by adding tea bags of hot water. If t is equal to n plus 2, how many additional tea bags are needed to make each additional cup of tea? So, you guys, this is written in point slope form again, right? If you guys see point slope form, you guys are going to know that they're asking for additional. So, it means they're asking for the slope. So, what is the slope? It's 1, right? Because 1n, so boom, it's b. Because they're asking for the slope. They're asking for how many additional. They're asking for additional, look at the slope. Alright, let's move on. So that question is really easy. It's basically a logic question. You guys have to think about the slope, right? You guys have to think of math, right? If they give you an equation in math, you guys have to know how to use it. If you guys don't know how to use it, then that's not good. You guys have to figure that out. So, question 14. The function f is defined by the equation above. Which of the following is the graph of y is equal to negative f of x in the xy plane? So I'm going to just use points as an example. So on this graph, right? So this point, I could use 0. If you 2 to the 0 is equal to 2. 2 to the 0 is equal to 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. Right? So, but then they have the new graph, right? So y is equal to negative f of x. So when a point is to the negative f of x, so if you plug in 0, right, that's equal to 1. 2 to the 0 is also equal to 1. 1 plus 1 is equal to 2. But now it's negative, so now it's negative 2. Right? The y value just turns into a negative. So which ones of the graph has points of 0, negative 2? 0, this is 0, 2, so this is wrong. 0, negative 1, that's wrong. 0, negative 2, this is good. 0, negative 1, so this is wrong. Boom. C is going to be the graph of y is equal to negative f of x. Just plug in a point. You guys will always get the answers because points are never wrong. Right, so let's move on to the last multiple choice question. Alan drives an average of 100 miles per week. His car has traveled an average of 25 miles per gallon on gasoline. Alan would like to reduce his weekly expenditures on gasoline by $5. Assuming gasoline costs $4 per gallon, which equation can Alan use to determine how many fewer average miles he should drive each week? So if he drives 100 miles each week on 25 miles per gallon, it means he uses 4 gallons a week, right? So assuming gasoline costs $4 per gallon, so it means he spends $16 a week, because 4 times 4 is 16, and he would like to reduce his amount by $5. So he would like to spend $11 a week now. So how many miles can he drive each week? So if he drives $11 worth of gas, that means he can only go about 11 divided by 4 times 11 divided by 4 is 2.75, right? Times 25 miles per hour, 25 miles per gallon of gas. He can only go for 2.75 gallons of gas, so times 25, that's going to give you somewhere around, I don't know, it's going to give you around like 60-something, 70. I'll say roughly 70, right? So how many miles less is that than 100? That's 30 miles less. So which one of the following is closest to 30? If you guys do the math, right, this is going to be a lot more than 95. This is going to be a lot more than 5. This is going to be less than 95. And now this right here, so 4 times 30 is 120 divided by 25. That's around 5. So it means using our estimation, right, we basically estimated, you're going to get D as your answer, right? Because for the value of m is 30. M is about 30. It's not exactly 30, but it's about 30. And this is the closest thing we have to m equaling to 30 and making this equation true. Yeah, so it's basically a logic question. All right, now we're doing the short answer responses. Let's go. So question 16. Maria plans to rent a boat. The boat rental costs $60 per hour, and she will have to pay for a water safety course that costs $10 an hour. $10. She wants to spend no more than $280 for rental and courses if the boat rental is available only for a whole number of hours. What is the maximum number of hours for which Maria can rent the boat? So, boom. This is going to be written in point slope form again. So you guys have to know point slope form. You guys don't know that, you guys better learn that. I'm going to make a video on that soon. Wow, I'm saying I'm going to make a video on everything. But I will soon. I'm going to be posting a little more often now. So y, right? What is y equal to? Y is equal to the total cost. In this case, y is going to equal to 280. Right? Because 280 is the total cost is equal to 60x. 60x, because it's $60 per hour when x represents per hour, plus that $10 for the safety course. So I'm going to subtract 10 on both sides, right? That'll give me 270 is equal to 60x. Divide both sides by 60. X is equal to roughly 4.5, right? But it says that can only be a whole amount of hours. So it means what's the most she could go? The most she could go is 4 hours. So boom, your answer is 16. For 16 is 4. And now let's move on to question 17. So we have this equation right here. They're asking, what is the value of p in the solution of equation above? So let's just factor everything out. Distribute 2p plus 1. That's 2p plus 2 plus 8 times p. 8 times negative 1 is equal to 5p. Now we can simplify this. So this is equal to 10p, right? 2p plus 8p is 10p. 2 minus 8 is negative 6, is equal to 5p. So now we can subtract 5p on both sides. 5p, and we could also add 6 on both sides, is equal to 6. These cancel out. These cancel out. Alright, giving you 5p is equal to 6. And now we can divide both sides by 5, giving us p is equal to 6 over 5. Alright, that's going to be our answer for question 17. So now let's look at question 18. The systems of equation above has the solutions x, y. What is the value of x? So what we're going to do, they give you x in terms of y. So we could just plug that back in, right? So if we plug this in, so let me see. They're asking for the value of x, right? So you want x. You want to plug 2x in for this. So y is equal to 2x. So I'm just going to plug in 2x for the value of y. So 1/2 times 2x plus, what is y? 2x, right? Plus 2x is equal to 21 over 2. Giving me 1/2 times 4x is equal to 21 over 2. Because 2x plus 2x is 4x. This can be simplified into 4x over 2 is equal to 21 over 2. Cancel out the 2's, right? 4x is equal to 21. Divide both sides by 4. X is equal to 21 over 4. And boom, that's going to be your answer, right? If the answer looks weird, such as this improper fraction right here, you guys can check your work, but I'm pretty sure this is correct. But if you guys aren't sure, you guys can check your work again and just plug it back in to see if it makes sense. Alright, let's move on to the final 2 questions of the section. So question 19. The expression above is equivalent to a over x plus 2 squared, where a is a positive constant and x is not equal to 2, negative 2. What is the value of a? So we're trying to make this into x plus 2 over 2. So how do we get this? We multiply this by x plus 2, right? So 2x plus 6 over x plus 2 squared minus 2 times x plus 2 over x plus 2 squared. How did I get this from this equation? If you guys can see, so I'm just going to write this down. If you multiply both sides by x plus 2, right, because you're essentially multiplying it by 1, right? X plus 2 over x plus 2 is equal to 1. You can multiply anything by 1, and it'll still retain its same value. The identity property. So what happens is that you'll get this right here. X plus 2 times x plus 2 is x plus 2 squared. And now you can simplify this equation right here. So, yeah, I'm going to simplify this. So this is equal to 2x plus 6 over x plus 2 squared minus, let me distribute this, minus 2x minus 2x plus 4 over x plus 2 squared. And now they're just asking for what is the value of a. So you don't have to worry about the bottom, because if you're adding numbers, for example, if you're adding 1/4 plus 3/4, right? That's equal to 4/4. The denominator doesn't change. It's only the numerator, right? So we don't have to worry about the denominator. So now we only have to worry about the numerator. So this is equal to what? This is equal to 2x plus 6 minus 2x, because there's a minus. Don't forget about that minus right there. If you guys can't see that, you guys might get this question wrong. Minus 2x minus 4. 2x minus 2x is 0. 6 minus 4 is 2. That means our answer is going to be 2. Alright, if you guys don't know, if you minus, right, and minus is the whole equation, right? It's not plus 4 anymore. It's minus 4. You guys gotta watch out for that, alright? So now we're on the last question of this section. Question 20. Intersecting lines R, S, and T are shown above. Below, what is the value of x? Alright, this question is really easy. So if these two angles are supplementary, so it means this angle right here is going to be 74. And you guys don't have to find this angle. Because why? Because there's a theorem that states that the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two interior angles. So the value of x is going to equal to 74 plus 23, which is equal to 97. But if you guys do solve for this, this is going to equal to 103. No, it's going to equal to 83, right? Which also gives you 97 as your answer. So boom, we have all the answers. And now we're done with the whole section 3. I don't know how long this video took. Probably took around 25, 26 minutes. But yeah, so if you guys have any questions, put it in the comment section, and I'll try to answer your questions. And the link to this test will be in the bio or the description. So check that out if you guys want practice on this without me explaining it. And if you guys need help, you guys can comment or DM me. So goodbye, guys. I'll see you guys later.